Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the playground. It's so good to have you here. This is our space to get curious, to challenge those doubts, those questions that we have been carrying around our whole lives, and to playfully explore what it means to build a life that it actually feels like our own. The whole idea of a playground is that it's a space for experimentation, not for performance. It's where you can try and stumble and get back up without judgment. And today we're going to explore something that it looks like freedom, feels like freedom, and is even celebrated as freedom, but it's not at all. We're going to talk about the beautiful cage that so many of you have built for yourselves, that place piece by piece, achievement by achievement, until one day you turn around, you look at this stunning life you have constructed and realize you are trapped inside. You believe your discipline bought you freedom. And on that paper, it did. You won the game you set up to play. You have the impressive career, the financial independence, the respect of your peers. You are the one people rely on, the one who always has it all together. From the outside, your life is a testament to your capability. You follow all the rules. You did everything right. But if you are being really honest with yourself, in those quiet moments when no one is looking, there is another story, isn't there? Is that low graded hum of anxiety that it never fully goes away, like an appliance running in the background of your own mind. It's the Sunday that it gets scary that it starts on Saturday afternoon, poisoning your weekend with the dread of a Monday. It's the feeling of being constantly on, like you are a high performance engine that doesn't have an off switch. And you're starting to hear the strain. It's the persistent nagging feeling that even when everything you have built with all the success that you have earned, you're still truly not free. If this is already sounding familiar, let me know in the comments what freedom means to you right now. I would love to hear it. This is the story of how the most driven among us can build a beautiful prison and lock themselves inside, not with iron bars, but with the good habits and relentless ambition. And more importantly, this is the story of how you find the key, which has been in your pocket all along, and finally walk out. Let's talk about a woman that we're going to call her Maya. Maybe you know her. Maybe in a lot of ways you are her by every external metric. Maya is a smashing success. She runs a major department at a tech company, known for being sharp, strategic, and reliable. Her calendar is a work of art, a perfect interlocking puzzle of color coded blocks for peak productivity. Her apartment is immaculate, a minimalist sanctuary where there's never a dish in the sink or a book out of place, a fortress against chaos. Her fitness routine is non negotiable. It's 6 a.m., a class she attends with religious devotion. She meals preps every Sunday. She listens to business podcasts, absorbing information with maximum efficiency. She has done everything she was told while leading to a life of autonomy. She has earned her freedom. But if you could pull back the curtain on Maya's inner world, you will see a completely different reality. You will see Maya at 11 p.m. on Tuesday, her face illuminated by the glow of her phone. Is scrolling through work, emails she's already answered. There is a tight knot forming in her stomach as she reads a single line from her boss, trying to decode its hidden meaning. She's obsessing about a presentation that is 3 weeks away, imagining every possible way it could go wrong. You will see her on rare Saturday morning with nothing on the schedule. And the feeling that it washes over her is not peace, it's sheer with panic. The silence is too loud. The stillness feels dangerous, like a personal failure. So her mind, desperate for tasks, just start populating the void with a frantic to-do list, deep cleaning the fridge, organizing the spice rack, alphabetically research the next year vacation because all the good Airbnbs will be gone If she does not book it now, productivity is her refuge from presence. You will see her in her relationships where her friends praise her for being low drama and so easy going. But what really means is that she anticipates everyone's needs, expertly manage everyone's emotion, and never ever lets herself be the one who needs something. When a friend calls in crisis, Maya is a rock star. She listens, she gives brilliant advice, and she sends a follow up text. But when Maya feels her own life cracking at the seams, she says nothing. The thought of being a burden is more terrifying than the thought of drawing in silence. It's exhausting. Maya looks free, but her internal peace depends entirely on an external control. Her entire life is a masterpiece of performance, in a fortress built to keep out one terrifying thing: uncertainty. She has achieved what we call performance based autonomy. What she does not have is real freedom. Because real freedom is not about controlling every variable in your life. Real freedom is what happens when you are okay, even when you cannot. The trap that you're in is because it's built with the very tools we're taught to admire: discipline, ambition, a powerful work ethic, and an incredible capacity to get things done. You are not lazy. You are the opposite of lazy. You are the architect of your own life. And you took that job so seriously, you follow the blueprint: work hard, prove yourself, be capable, be reliable. And it worked. It got you where you are now. But here's the core of the problem: the central illusion we all have been sold. You are mistook this earning autonomy for genuine freedom. Performance based autonomy is the freedom you earn through your capacity to control, perform, and produce. It's always a transaction. Because I can run this project flawlessly, I am free to command this salary with this respect. Because I am disciplined enough to wake up at 5 a.m. and work out, I am free to have this body and feel good about myself. Because I am so on top of everything at home, I am free from the chaos that plagues other people's life. Because I am perfect friend, because I am free from the fear of being abandoned. This feels powerful. This feels like security. The problem is not the performance itself. High performance can be a source of joy and fulfillment. The problem is when it becomes the only source of your safety and your worth. The problem is when the hyper competent performance is the only identity you know how to have. This is the beautiful cage, decorated with promotion, praise, and respect. It's comfortable, with walls built from financial security and social admiration. People admire the cage. They come up to you and ask, how do you build that? What is your morning routine? How you stay disciplined? You are proud of that cage. You might even teach others how to build their own, but it still is a cage. And you know it's a cage because of what happens when you stop performing. You know it's a cage when a weekend without plans feels like a threat, not a gift. You know it's a cage when a minor mistake at work sends you into a day long shame spiral. You know it's a cage when receiving a compliment feels less like a gift and more like a new higher standard you now have to maintain. You know it's a cage when the thought of truly resting, of just being, feels like everything will collapse. If you stop holding it all together for 1 second, everything will fall apart. Does this idea of a beautiful cage resonate with you? I'm curious what your cage is decorated with. Is it a professional success, academy achievement, physical appearance, or something else? Share your thoughts below. I guarantee you're not alone in this. This is not freedom. This is a very polished, high functioning survival strategy. It's a life meticulously organized, not around joy, but around the avoidance of fear. The fear of not being good enough, the fear of being seen as incompetent, the fear of losing control, the fear of being rejected. For so many of us, this pattern is the output of a program that it was installed long time ago. We were the good girls and good boys who got praise for our report cards, for being mature for our age, for not causing trouble. We learned implicitly or explicitly the love and approval were conditional to our performance. So we got very, very good at it performing. Our value was not in who we were, it was in what we did, what we produced, and how well we pleased others. Our safety was in being useful. So you sit in this beautiful life, you work so incredibly hard, and you have this nagging question: is it? You follow the recipe perfectly, but the dish tastes like nothing. This is one of the most common psychological patterns among high performance. You achieve the goal, but the feeling is hollow. You function perfectly, but you feel deeply disconnected from yourself and your life. This brings us to the fundamental illusion where we all buy into about success. The belief that when we achieve the thing, the promotion, the income, the milestone, we will finally arrive at the state of lasting peace. Psychology has a name for this deeply human and deeply flawed belief. It's called the arrival fallacy. The feeling of being trapped in your own success is not a personal failing. It is a predictable outcome of a system you were taught to master. To break free from this cage, you first have to understand how it's wired. It's built on three core psychological and physiological principles. The first wire is the one which is named the arrival fallacy. This idea from Harvard trained psychologist Dr. Tobin Sahar describes the mistaken belief that reaching of a specific destination or goal will bring you lasting happiness. Is that I will be happy when? I will be happy when I get the promotion. I will be happy when I buy the house, when I find a partner, when I lose 15 pounds. We run our whole lives in this simple, linear assumption of our brain's love, sacrifice, and effort now will lead to a permanent reward later. We push through grueling work weeks. We sacrifice sleep. We hold a picture in our mind of the moment that we finally arrive. We imagine that once we cross the finish line, a switch will flip inside of us. The anxiety will dissolve. The self doubt will vanish. And we will be anointed with the permanent state of contentment. But that is not what it happens when we think we arrive. You get the promotion, there is a surge of joy, a hit of dopamine, maybe for a day, maybe for a week, and then Monday comes. The new role has a bigger problem. The destination you run towards for years turns out just to be another station with a new board announcing an even more challenging destination. We internalize this is a personal failure. What is wrong with me? I should be happier. I guess I just need to aim higher. We don't question the game, we question ourselves. And so we get back into the treadmill. This leads us to the second wire, the psychological engine that it keeps running, the hedonic treadmill. The term was given by psychologists Philip Brickman and Donald Campbell in 1971. It's the theory that humans have a stable set point of happiness, and we tend to turn to it even after major positive or negative life events. Your brain is a master of adaptation. So when you achieve something incredible, you get a rush of excitement. But your brain, in its efficiency, quickly gets used to the new reality. This process is called hedonic adaptation. The major win becomes a new baseline. The life you dream now is just your life. And to get to that same feeling of excitement, you now need a bigger win. And it's called a treadmill for a reason. You are running and running and running, but you are not actually getting any closer to a permanent state of happiness. For high achievers, this is a particular cruel trap. Your entire identity is built on progress and for momentum. So when you find yourself in this treadmill, your instinct is not to question the machine. Your instinct is to run faster. You mistaken the feeling of emptiness as an evidence that you are not trying hard enough, that the next goal must be the real one. Have you ever experienced this? Think about a time that you worked so hard for something. You got it, and then it felt surprisingly empty. If you are comfortable sharing it, tell us in the comments. It is a powerful way to see how universal this experience truly is. Now, let's look at the deepest, most primal wire. This is the one that powers the whole system. Let's talk about body, specifically your nervous system. For so many high achieving women, what we call ambition, what we call discipline, what we call being perfect is at its root a dysregulated nervous system. It's a body chronically stuck in a low grade state of fight or flight. Your nervous system has one primary job to keep you safe. It has two main branches that they act like gas pedal and a brake. The sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response, the gas, and the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest response, the brake. When a real threat appears, let's say a bear, your sympathetic nervous system floods with cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, your focus narrows. You become a high performance machine geared for one thing: survival. This is a brilliant life saving response. Here's the problem: for many of us, our nervous system treats a critical email, a looming deadline, the possibility of making a mistake, or someone being displeased with us with the same level of alarm as a bear. Your inbox becomes the bear. Your to do list becomes the bear. Your own impossible standards become the bear. And because these threats are constant and never ending, your nervous system never gets the signal that it's safe to stand down. You end up living in a state of chronic sympathetic activation. This is the hidden engine of your hyperproductivity. You have literally learned to use the stress hormones as fuel. That the feeling of being on and driven, that is your sympathetic nervous system. That inability to relax on the weekend, that is your sympathetic nervous system too. It's still scanning for threats. Perfectionism is a perfect example of this. We think of it as a personality trait, but from a neurological standpoint, it's often a trauma response, a state of hypervigilance learned in childhood. Your nervous system learns somewhere along the way the mistakes are dangerous. Maybe a mistake in childhood led to criticism, shame, or the withdrawal of love. So now your body's survival mechanism equates imperfection with a genuine threat to your safety and belonging. The drive to something perfectly is your nervous system working to keep you from feeling the fear of what it might happen to you if you don't do it perfect. It's no wonder why good enough feels terrifying. Your body is trying to protect you. This is why you cannot use willpower or logic to fix your anxiety or your perfectionism. You cannot think your way out of the problem that is happening at the primal, pre-verbal level of your physiology. What it looks like an impressive excess of work and obsessive control from the outside is on the inside a deeply ingrained protective strategy. It is the way your body learned to stay safe in a world that it felt unsafe. And this is the core of the agitation. The very strategies that brought you success, the relentless drive, the attention to detail, the ability to perform under pressure are the same strategies that are keeping you trapped. The fortress you built to protect yourself has become your prison. Your discipline is not just a fear in a really nice outfit. If you are with me this far, you might be feeling a little discouraged. And you probably are saying, great, I'm a perfectionist with a dysregulated nervous system. It's stuck on meaningless treadmill fueled by a cognitive fallacy. Now what? This is where the real work and the real hope begins. This is the most important part. The answer is not to build better or more efficient cage. The answer is to recognize that you were never meant to live in one in the first place. The false solution is the one that the cage whispers to you. If I optimize more, heal faster, if I stay in control, I will finally feel free. This is the path of more. More discipline, more goals, more self-improvement. The actual solution is not about adding more. It's about gently and courageously subtracting the layers of protection that are no longer serving you. It's about learning to build a sense of safety from within. inside of your own body instead of constantly trying to control the world outside. True freedom is not doing whatever you want, whenever you want. Real adult freedom is the capacity to respond to the unfolding of your life, the good, the bad, the uncertain, without fear running the show. So, what did this actually look like in practice? It's not a grand dramatic jailbreak, it's a practice. It starts with the small, deliberated shifts that over time teach your body a new way of being. The first shift is to move from controlling the world to tending your body. Your nervous system has been running a marathon for years. It does not need a new or better optimized training plan. It needs to know that it's safe. It needs to learn on a cellular level, non-verbal level, that not everything is a bear. That is about actively and intentionally learning to calm your own system. It does not have to be complicated. It can be 3 deep, slow breaths before you open a stressful email. A breath can be incredibly powerful. Breathe in 4 counts, hold for 7, and exhale slowly for 8. This simple act stimulates your vagus nerve and sends a direct signal to your brain you are safe. And it can be a 5 minute walk outside without a podcast or your phone. Just noticing the feeling of the air and the sounds around you. It could be just putting on a song and just shaking your body for 2 minutes to discharge all the adrenaline. These are not luxuries. They are not unproductivity. They are non negotiable acts of a nervous system regulations. This is how you begin to gently dismantle the cage bar by bar. The second shift is to tell the truth about what you're afraid. Control is almost always just a strategy to manage a deeper fear. You micromanage your team because you're afraid of being blamed for failure. You people pleasing because you're afraid of being rejected or disliked. Pause and ask yourself right now, what am I holding on so tightly in my life? Now go deeper. What am I truly afraid that it will happen if I lose my grip just a little? Often the answer is a core belief that it feels like a fundamental truth. I will fail. I will be seen as incompetent. They will leave me. I will be abandoned. Name the fear. Write it down. Say it out loud to yourself. I am terrified that if I don't check my email tonight, my boss will think I'm slacking. I will lose my job. Naming the fear brings out the shadows of your unconscious mind into the light of your awareness. Once you see it clearly as a story, you will begin to realize that you have the power to write a different one. The third one, perhaps the most radical shift, is to practice one small tangible act of trust instead of control. You will not think your way to a new way of being. You will have to act your way there in your body, in your real world. This is where the playground comes in. If you are a micromanager, delegate one small task and resist the urge to check on it. Trust your team member. If you are a people pleaser, say a gentle but firm no to one small request this week. You don't need a long excuse. I appreciate your asking, but I'm not going to be able to take that right now. That's it. Trust that your relationships are strong enough to handle the boundary. And if you are an over planner, leave 1 hour on your Sunday completely, terrifyingly unscheduled. When the panic to do something rises, just breathe and be with the discomfort. Trust that you can handle the uncertainty of an open space. Each time you choose a small act of trust over control, you are sending a new powerful signal to your body. You are teaching it through life experience that the world does not fall apart when you stop holding it together. You are building rep by rep your capacity to tolerate uncertainty. This is the choice, moment by moment. Control based living says, I will need to keep it all together. Freedom based living asks, can I be honest about how I really feel? Control based living says, I will have to know what happened next. Freedom based living trusts, I am resourceful enough to handle uncertainty. Control based living insists, I need to be impressive to be worthy. Freedom based living desires, I want to be true to myself. Control based living fears, I cannot disappoint anyone. Freedom based living understands, I can disappoint people and still be fundamentally okay. Control based living promises, I will rest when everything is done, which is never. Freedom based living knows rest is not a reward, it's a requirement. This new way is better, not because it's easier. At first, it will feel much, much harder because it goes against years of conditioning. It's better because it leads to real peace, not just the temporary absence of problems. It leads to sustainable success, not a life sentence on a treadmill of burnout. It turns freedom from a destination you have always chased into experience you can have right now. The freedom to simply be yourself. This journey from performance to presence, from control to trust, is the quiet, courageous work of a lifetime. It's unlearning the patterns that help you survive so you can finally learn the patterns that will help you truly live. It's about realizing your worth is not in your productivity, but it's in your presence. If this message is landing for you, if you feel that quiet stirring of recognition in your chest, I want to invite you to take 1 second right now. Chest pause, and if it feels okay, take one deep conscious breath in through your nose and a long, slow sigh out. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears, unclench your jaw for just this one moment. Let your body know that it is safe, that you are enough right here without doing another single thing to prove it. The part of you that is so exhausting from holding it all together deserves this. Your freedom is not in the next milestone, it's in this breath, and the next one, and the one after that. If this is the kind of conversation you need more of in your life, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next time on the playground. And if you know a woman who looks like she has it all together, but you suspect is secretly exhausted and running on fumes, please send this to her. It might be the permission that she needs to finally loosen her grip. Remember, you are not broken. You are wired for survival. But now you get to choose something different. You get to choose life. Be gentle with yourself. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you on the next episode.